We put on an open house predominantly to showcase it for our team, their families, to get to see the finished product. I think it started because a lot of the time people involved in the projects don't get to see the completed home. Being able to open it up to those guys to actually feel the same feelings that we feel when we hand over the keys is pretty powerful.
I think it's derived also from Adam and myself being in the trade and not experiencing this, when we were involved in building these homes. So it's an incredibly powerful night tonight, and it's going to be great to see the clients see this for the first time in about 3 weeks. So we're really looking forward to it.
The architecture is to stand out. We pride ourselves on our joinery and that part of our company, and the joinery is obviously everywhere you look. I think, the experience that we create for everyone involved, particularly when you're finishing a home to the standard and the level this one's at, it's powerful. The
landscaping is obviously a feature throughout. It was good to work with such a professional landscaping company, and to have it all completed by handover is quite a good achievement, and it really tops the house off and makes it look pretty incredible.
It's an opportunity to showcase what our team do. We bring past clients through who love sort of following us and what we're doing, where we're going and how we're evolving. We get an opportunity to also bring potential clients through, architects that we've worked for. It really does give us an opportunity to showcase our team's achievements.
We've also got clients coming through that we're halfway through their projects as well. So for them to know that this is coming up for them is also pretty special. The other great thing about it is, the clients are walking through here tonight. Everyone's just pointing out all the amazing features, saying that's incredible, that's amazing, oh my God, wow, look at that. And as a client, it must be quite satisfying to hear that sort of stuff after, quite a long process and a long build.
It's a real celebration for everyone. Current clients still making selections, so they're looking at things they might be putting in their place. It gives them a real opportunity to touch and feel and see, and that's great for them. The fact that we have clients constantly coming back to these nights is a testament to the enjoyment they have with our process, our systems, and being a part of our story. I feel like watching them enjoy that story that we create is satisfying in itself, because they're living in a house that we've built.
They've experienced this open evening themselves, and they know how big a deal it is for our current clients. And it's just fun to see them here and to see them checking on our recent work. You hear comments like, oh, my kitchen's a bit better than theirs, or something like that. But
or I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
Maybe I'll do it this way, or But I think that they're the ones making the decision on the designs.
The great thing is we're also improving as builders. So we're building more architecturally designed homes, or probably higher profile, higher end homes. So they're impressed every time that they see us with a new project, and the difference in calibre, I guess.
We're still pinching ourselves, I'm sure. Yeah, we bought an old house, and it was a terrace that didn't have a lot of light. We wanted to live in the inner city, and we wanted to feel like we were in the bush, and we just wanted all these beautiful finishes, and it's amazing. We grew up in the bush. Like, if you've got jobs that keep you in the city and you have to live in the city, you don't have to wait for the weekend. Every day of the week you can have a little bit of the bush in the inner city. But I love the courtyards and the ensuite, and it's very Australian. I feel like we had to make it a kind of uniquely Australian house. They've been great. They came, they met with us when we showed them the drawings, and they put in a tender for the job, and they've been always available and online. We love Ben, their site manager. He's just been terrific, because we'd pop around every week or two while the build was happening, and the whole team, we've come to the site meetings. The whole process it's been good. I just think they're a fabulous team. We've done other smaller renos, but this was really, really major, and as the person doing it, you don't know what to expect, but these guys, this is their life's work, and they know what to expect, and they're kind of just helping me through the whole process, being open. They know the beginning, they know the middle, they know the end, and yeah, to get to the end like this, it's pretty good. We came back from Sydney, and the housing market was really, really hot, and we couldn't see a house that we wanted to buy that was all finished and the way we wanted it for the price we wanted. So we opted to buy an unrenovated house, and we knew that in the first, over the next first year or 2 or 3, we had to spend some more money and make it the kind of home we wanted to live in long term. So that was it really, and then figuring out what to do and how to do it in this location. They were recommended by our architect, so that was really good. And what we liked, whether we were trying to find an architect or a builder, we liked the personal approach. We liked people who came to the house. They made a connection with both of us. They listened to us. They were listening to what we wanted, what we were hoping for in the end. And if one of us liked them and the other didn't, it didn't really work. We both had to feel pretty confident about it. So both with the architect and the builders, that's kind of what got us across the line. It's amazing. We can't believe it's all done.
I was the project manager on this project, and we started the build back in late April last year. Through the process, obviously we were following the various designs and whatnot to get to the end result that we see today. But during the sort of project, it was actually one of the sort of site meetings. We discussed landscaping and discussed how the logistics of the landscaping would work. Being sort of a tight block where we're working on boundaries and with internal gardens and things like that, and how that may work if it wasn't to sort of happen during our time of the build. And at that time, it just so happened that our clients were close friends with Phil here, and decided to engage Phil. For us, being able to hand over a project, more or less complete, that's where that's the sale point for me. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We complement the architecture, we complement the building, but most importantly is the outcome. What we wanted to create is the best outcome for the client. I'll tell you right now, I've worked many times for the last 27 years, many builders, and this has been the best experience we've had with builders. You can quote me on that, just because we want to get the best outcome for it, for our clients, and we have, I think, executed that beautifully.
The key there was the collaboration, and that's between, obviously these guys have an element of design, and we also have an architect who has designed the building and the structure for us. But ultimately we're trying to, as Phil said there, we're trying to create something for our homeowner, and to be able to do it to such a high standard with, well, to be honest, almost zero stress, as a collaboration between different construction companies and whatnot. It kind of it just complements the building to be able to hand over and say to our client, here's your finished home.
Really, the best approach for us is to actually be involved right on day one, working with the architect, the architecture, and the clients. And project management, coordinating logistics of infrastructures, stormwater management, to all those components that we had to do on this property, part of town planning requirements. So, like roughing in electrical and power points and switching, and so I can go on, water mains, taps and things, just so we can actually do things once, plan it, and get that done properly, opposed to you completed the project, passing on to the client to find a landscape, and then we actually implement the landscape and go, oh, haven't you thought of that? Haven't you thought of that? Haven't you thought about that? And then it just adds exponentially, or you just don't get the right outcome. And I think here's testament to such a fantastic outcome.
Traditionally, indoor and outdoor is almost treated separately, but to make the indoor-outdoor space work, it's a collaboration in terms of, okay, well, we need a light switch to control those outside lights. We need a water point to control this. We've got outdoor showers that require plumbing from, what else we're putting into the building. And just to be able to do that, work together, and create what we have, I think it's a testament to the process and to our clients for getting us both involved.
What's fantastic is, as you see directly behind us, we've got this beautiful frame kind of picture. That's built, that's day one. That's just been man-made, created within a couple of a couple of weeks, that's framed this beautifully designed window frame, beautifully constructed building that's a living work of art. And the same out the back here, working in this really, really hot environment. Part of our brief from our clients is they wanted to connect to the lands, and it's about to sit on rocks, have a little fire pit and actually have birds and butterflies. And I've already seen bees and butterflies in the backyard when we start placing the plants out, which is really exciting. Working with these guys is, I don't think I've ever had a building that says they'll actually water our plants and make sure things are looked after. So that's all I've got to say. I've designed some of the most successful gardens around the world, met the Queen a couple of times, and these guys have respected our plants, which is fantastic. And it's going to create a fantastic end result for our clients.
Too often in construction, and bearing in mind I've come through from the bottom to the top, think the likes of apprentices, labourers, carpenters, trades, all the various different people, they get involved in the project, they give their heart and soul, and they don't get to see the end result in almost all occasions. Something that Rock City gave me the opportunity was to do these open evenings where it's that time that you get to celebrate and bring your family through, your friends through, people that it's inevitably in any sector of work that you're doing, there's a toll that it takes on home life, and just being able to bring through my partner and celebrate that with her and show off the work, it's a really special moment for us. We're artists of a different form. We're building someone's dream. And there's an architect involved there that's aided with the process and getting us to a point that we can interpret that intention and understand what the building is. Ultimately, this is for someone to live in. We're not just building for today or tomorrow. We're building for the future, for someone's dream. To be able to deliver a home in this way to the standard that it is, honestly, I wouldn't change it. The nature of this project, we're built on boundaries. We're in a very tight sort of location within Richmond. There's not much access to the rear. There's very little parking at the front. But we sort of get together. We work together. We work through the tough times, and obviously we're dealing with councils, we're dealing with permits and all these various things, but to be able to celebrate it in the way that we're doing tonight and tomorrow morning when we hand over the project to the clients and physically give the keys, for me that's it's unveiling the Christmas present that you've been waiting for your whole life. It's a pretty special moment for me, my team, for everyone that's involved, and it's great, it really is. Forever in construction, there's always going to be something new. It doesn't matter whether you've been a carpenter for 10 years or you've been a carpenter for 50 years, you're always going to do something new. And the thing I like particularly about this home is the amount of those different features. We've got open screen sliding garage doors, we've got open screen ceilings, we've got high pop-up roofs, there's internal courtyards with billabongs, there's external showers, copper shower heads. For me, this home really sells. It speaks a story, and that story has ultimately come from a client and an architect's thoughts and put pen to paper to then create what we see today. It's treated very differently, indoor and outdoor. I find I've sort of come from a background of architecture in the UK where just at design stage, it's all discussed and it's all determined how the exterior is going to work, how that's going to tie in with the interior, what it's going to look like, what provisions do we need to put in. And I've found that in Australia quite often landscaping isn't considered during the construction phase, and ultimately you want to be able to switch a light and your uplights come on for your garden lighting. You want to be able to turn a water tap and know that you've got running water from your rain tanks. And just without taking that consideration into the design phase, I just don't believe that you can link the outdoor and the indoor in the way that it should do. And it surprises me that Australia doesn't do it more, because ultimately the client's going to do it anyway. So why not do it during the building stage? Why not get the architect involved in that? If there's multiple designers, garden designers, landscape designers, architectural designers, why not get them all together and then be able to hand your client over the finished product as opposed to them having to do it once you're gone?
First of all, it'd be the look on the owners' faces, finally seeing it without protection. Not everything's covered, They probably haven't been in here for a couple of weeks, if not a month. And then I think letting everybody else see our work. Because, you know, a lot of the time, no one would see it, or especially not with us here. And, you know, all the boys can sort of get together as a team, and we all get around each other, and yeah, it's just really good. It's a really good night for everyone, I think. I love working with the team. I've been here 7 years. I've been here since I was 22 years old or something, and I've never left, so that's got to say something. Favourite part is probably these nights, when it's finished and done, the stress is over, you know, we made it, we got there in the end. It's not shaky through it, but, you know, you always sort of worry, oh, there's a bit of pressure on, and then we get to the nights like this and everyone's coming in and loving it. I think I love the outdoor shower the most. The outdoor shower, you walk through the ensuite, there it is, you're having a shower out in the greenery, it's awesome. The Billabong area is awesome, and I think standing there looking back at the whole kitchen, and that's a really good spot too. It's a completely different place. Like, you wouldn't believe what it looked like to begin with compared to this now. This is what I said, this is the best part. It's all out for everyone to see. The finishes are unbelievable. It's just amazing.
I love the opportunity to come and show the house to potential clients, but also just people who have been involved in the project. Sometimes people bring their partners along that haven't been able to look at the process but probably heard lots about it at home. The journey that it is to create a home that's like this is long, and it's many roads that you travel during the process, but yeah, it's a great time and opportunity to come and kind of celebrate the completion of the project. Well, I was here a week ago and it didn't look like this. So the transformation, even in a week, as they've pulled everything together to kind of finish putting cupboard doors on, get lights finally fitted off, stone bench tops, put the plumbing in, is just incredible, even in this last week, how much has been done. To come and see it in all its entirety and have it clean and ready to go for the owners, it's a great feeling to be involved and come and see it this way. It's one of those things you have in your mind what you think it's going to look like, but it's always incredible to actually come and see it, and all those things and all those thoughts you had in your mind for 2 years. This has been bubbling along, 2.5 years. It's a real confirmation a lot of the time that, I knew that was going to look good, but wow, it looks even better than I thought it was going to look. So there's certainly that aspect of it as well, that the ideas you have, but then seeing it all come together, it's wonderful to see. I love the internal courtyard. And I love the way that the plan we've been able to develop has literal kind of journey through the home. So you have at the front door the traditional Victorian, the 4 rooms to either side of the central corridor. But then from that point, it completely opens up and you can see right through to the backyard. And Philip Johnson's done a great job with the landscaping in terms of the way he's also sort of picked up design elements that we've done and then incorporated that into his landscape design as well. So literally that we can stand here and look through the living area, into the middle courtyard, into the home office, right through the front of the house. I think really expands the space, makes perfect use of a smaller site in a city. I think too the fact like the darker walls that we aimed at using kind of also highlights the fact that we've got a really high ceiling in the middle there, which acts as a lantern. So we're bringing a lot of light in, not just through the courtyard, but also through the centre corridor of the property. One of the key things was for Wendy and Sandy, the clients, was to bring lots of light in. So while you also sort of need to moderate different things, like we are in a city, there's some really high apartment buildings behind us. So we've also used things like some high external walls, screening to help with that, sort of mitigating those, kind of overlooking things. But you'd never know it. To be in here is just so open. It's been a great journey from the beginning, very much keen to get the clients on board and to understand how they're thinking, what their sort of passion is about the project as well. And walking through that process with the builders and the clients. Tom, their project manager's just been fantastic and easy to deal with, explaining everything every step of the way, and Wendy's often been on site through site meetings and things. So she's sort of been able to be involved and brought along on that process. And that's, some clients like that, some would rather not be as involved and just sort of come here at the end or only be involved in critical decisions. So each client's different. But certainly the builders were really happy to accommodate that, and whatever sort of worked for Wendy or her level of involvement that she'd like to have, they were keen to encourage that and support that as well. They've certainly endeavoured to be very thorough in the process of construction. and involve us in sort of talking about details and things that have happened. One thing that's been different for me is there hasn't been a defects inspection, which is typically done either today or tomorrow at handover, and so that's kind of a new thing for me to get my head around, that they're taking that on because they want to deliver a project that is completed and sort of take ownership of that component, I suppose, and to make that experience also for the homeowner when they return to the property, that there's no kind of picking up tiny little defects or things that are there. They just want to have a really wow factor experience for the owner. So that's probably a different thing, and I don't think it's a right or wrong thing. It's just something that's a bit different on this particular project. But yeah, it seems to be working well.